I'm going to welcome, thank you. I'm going to welcome any and all visitors, welcome any public comment anybody may have that is unrelated to any of our agendas. Chief.
Good evening. Just wanted to get everybody's time for a minute.
Yeah, take that with you. You can take that.
Yes, hold.
Take it? No, I can.
It's like you're on Ted Mack's amateur hour.
I just want to compliment Marshall and Mike from Wilmington Highway. In case you don't know, we had a serious issue develop with the bridge here in town, and I know it's not a town-owned bridge, but it certainly is a community problem. And Marshall and Mike's expertise at that moment in time enabled us to enabled them and to assist AOT making a safe repair, keeping the bridge open for travel and removing that safety hazard today. So firsthand, I got to see them in action again. And like I said, it's a state-owned bridge, but it's a town problem. And they really came through. So I figured I'd point that out. I also would like to take an opportunity to introduce our new officer, Sarah Herzig. Sarah comes from Coleraine, Mass, grew up on a working farm down there, attended Castleton State College, degree in criminal justice, minors in sociology, a whole bunch of stuff. And Sarah, to get to this point alone, has, done entrance testing, physical fitness testing, psychological evaluations. Where else did we go? Interviews, background checks, fingerprint supported background checks, credit checks, reference checks. She's attended the level 2 police academy. She is currently here working on a provisional state certificate, which requires that she work with a full-time certified officer. And she will be attending the 19 to 20 week academy starting mid-January, February, and live up in nice Pittsburgh, Vermont at the police academy through the winter for those 19 to 20 weeks while she trains to get her level 3 certificate. But Barry, you want to say something?
Sarah, is it your father or grandfather that had the slaughterhouse? Pardon? You're a Herzig and you're from Coleraine, so you have to be related somehow.
They had cows that were alive.
They were alive. I would bring mine down. They were alive when I arrived, but they weren't so alive when I left. But that's all right. But you're not related to Carl or
no. My grandfather was Stanley. My father's Ken. My dad's still a dairy farm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Sarah has already received a letter of commendation from her patrol sergeant and a very nice thank you letter from community members for her efforts last week attending a meeting here in town. So we appreciate her coming on board, and she's got a lot of training under her belt already. I think we're over 200 something training hours, and about that in field training hours as well already. So a lot of training, and it'll continue right till February. And she'll go up for 19 weeks and live up there and come back afterwards.
Welcome. Yeah, welcome aboard, Sarah.
Thank you for letting me interrupt.
You can stay, you know.
Okay. All right. So Scott, any changes to the agenda?
No.
No changes. Guys, number 2, the minute approval, we're not going to do that today because we don't have enough people to vote on that. All right. All right, Scott, number 3, action items.
Under action items, the select board to possibly accept the winter sand bid from Zaluzny. And we have the superintendent with us from Highway, Marshall Dix.
Sand went down. Price went down from last year.
I see that. That's a good thing.
So if it's okay with you, I'd like you to accept Steve's bid.
Okay.
Make a motion, we accept the Zaluni bid of $26.50 a cubic yard.
Second motion.
650 if you, yeah, there you go. All right, all right, we have a motion to second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Johnny on board with that?
Yep.
Okay.
Next item is from the clerk who could not be here tonight. The select board to possibly approve a reduction in the animal control surcharge. By statute, we can charge up to $10 on the surcharge. We currently charge $5. And Therese would like to reduce it to $1, I'm sorry. The annual expense for rabies clinic, which is to reduce rabies in the community, is $1,000, includes vaccines and newspaper ads. And even with the $1, we would have, we would add almost $200 to the fund each year. Currently, the fund has $20,000. In the past, it was also used for rabies control for, with an animal control officer or animal control person who would come out on a case-by-case basis, but the police department is handling it themselves these days. So it's just a reduction in fee, which we're allowed to do. There's no requirement for the fee, but Therese would like to reduce it to $1.
I have a question. How long, if approved, how long would this reduction last? Is this permanent or until it's changed again?
Until it's changed again
Thank you.
So how often do we collect the fee?
with the licensing.
So how many times is that per year?
Roughly, I think there's roughly 400 licenses, 300 to 400 licenses.
Once a year.
So the 20,000 that's in the fund now is being used just,
For these rabies reduction programs and for anything related to animal control.
so how much expense is it per year for that?
Currently, it's $1,000. That's
That
what
we
we're spending, that we're spending currently is about.
So it'll take us 20 years to run out of the.
You hope, yeah, no inflation there at all.
And for anything incidental that could be related broadly to rabies control.
See, I guess my only question is why?
Why what?
Why is the request to reduce it? What's the impetus of it? Why did you want to reduce it to $1?
Because we no longer need to fund that amount, but I think what the dollar does is it stays in place so you don't forget that you can do that if anytime in the future the rabies type programs change. Certainly up to the select board what they want to do.
How long has it been, what the amount it's at now?
$5, which was the maximum, except the statute change. I don't know how long ago, but everyone thought it was $5. Up to $5 was now it's up to $10 by statute. So it's been a long time. We've not touched it since I've been here.
I mean, I don't see a reason to change it, but I'm not sure what the reasoning is.
The general reasoning is that we don't need to charge that much for the license. It's added to the license fee. So Therese felt she didn't need to continue with a $5 charge.
Do you need a motion on that?
Please.
All right, so I'll move to approve the reduction of the animal control surcharge from $5 to $1.
It's actually $10 now, isn't it?
No, it's
It's
$5.
currently $5.
Oh,
It's
okay.
statutorily.
You could go to 10.
Misunderstood.
A lot of the vaccine anyway is being donated.
Okay.
The rabies, we're not paying for a lot of this stuff anymore.
I'll second it.
So that's why she didn't want to hold on to the money. All right. Motion to second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Scott, 1%.
This is a continuation of your 1% request, the select board possibly to approve a request from last time from the Deerfield Valley Farmers Day Fair and the TVMHS Booster Club for the staining of the booster booth in the amount of $14,000. And I believe you have the paperwork that you asked for last time.
Right. We had the presentation last week, and the problem was we didn't have any bills. So CB Painting, of course, had done the work, and they did it on credit. Kind of nice to have the house painted on credit. And in the Booster Club that was involved, which I haven't seen the Booster Club ever involved, but they did, and they put in $999 toward this. And they're looking for the balance of about, it's $14,000.
That's the request.
Oh, that's the request for the booster booth. And well, we had the presentation last week. We don't need another one today. So would somebody like to make a motion?
I have a
Go
question.
ahead.
You had said something about us getting the bills. Is that all the bills you're looking at?
That's correct.
And you're satisfied with that?
I am, because
I
he
make a
said.
motion then.
Because
As
we
long as
did.
you're satisfied, that's all I care about.
I'm
I make a
satisfied.
motion, we approve the booster booth,
Say that time. 10
yeah,
times fast.
$14,000. The request for the Deerfield Valley Farmers Day Fair and the TVMHS Booster Club to receive $14,000 as requested.
All right. All right, do I have a
Second
second?
motion.
All right, motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Scott?
Next item is the Green Mountain Beach. Corey Ross is with us, and I believe Emily from Du Bois and King to give an update on the Green Mountain Beach project and receive any public comments. And so Corey, would you like to take over?
Sure,
And
thanks.
explain where we're at and the good fortune we've had in being fully funded.
Absolutely. Thanks, Scott. The Windham County Natural Resources Conservation District secured funding through the state's Clean Water Block Grant Fund through the Montescutney Regional Planning Commission to do 30% designs. This was undertaken last summer. We worked with Du Bois and King to create 30% or preliminary designs to address concerns around erosion and sediment entering the lake. Those designs were completed last winter, and then we did apply for supplemental funding to then move those designs forward to full design to 100%. And that grant was also awarded. And so we are just now starting the process of working with Du Bois and King to finish those designs. Emily Lewis is here from Du Bois and King. I was hoping Emily could give maybe just a quick synopsis of the major practices that are included in those preliminary designs.
Sure thing. Thanks. Thanks for having me here. So definitely the goal of this project was twofold, was to improve the erosion and sedimentation that is going into Lake Raponda, as well as maintain Green Mountain Beach as a public access point. And so to improve some of the practices around the beach to allow for better public access. So right now there are what are called infiltration steps that come from the road down to the beach we would proposing to repair the bottom portion of those where there's a large step up in between the two existing vegetated bioswale areas, add in additional infiltration steps to replace the existing stone steps that are somewhat eroding around there. The existing boulders would remain, so the steps would be cut around those. It would also include adding a dry stack stone wall along the lake side of the existing bioretention areas to better define the space where they are in. Because these are approved because those bioswales are approved practices, there are limitations to being able to remove vegetation that starts to grow outside of it. So by creating a better defined boundary, it'll be easier for the town to maintain and kind of keep those areas within their current footprint. At the end of the drive that comes down for handicap access and for maintenance to pull the dock in and out, we're proposing to add grass pavers. So it is it's a more structurally sound practice that has then grass over it so that water can infiltrate through there. It won't compact the soil, but it'll still blend in with the rest of the grass area there. And then along the shoreline, there are a few areas of stone toes where there are some culverts that are coming out into the beach. So stone toe would help where the water is coming out, keep from eroding that, and then adding vegetation along there as well. A couple of other areas that might need to be rebuilt a little bit. One of the swale that comes in along, I think it's the north side by one of the fishing areas, rebuild that a bit. and again, try to take care of some of the erosion issues, but also address concerns of the public that uses this for recreation and make it a better asset for them as well.
Questions?
How long will this recovery last, in your opinion? Anybody?
The construction
Yeah.
of this, I think the construction would probably take a couple of weeks to do. I would recommend that it's done either outside of the summer season.
Perhaps
So
you misunderstood my question. How long will this solution last?
What's the shelf life of the practices?
Yeah.
oh, sorry. Unless there are additional changes that occur within the watershed there, these should be pretty long-term solutions. There would be some maintenance that is required to help maintain the longevity of them, such as removing invasive plants that are on that may come in. If there are any minor issues that occur, being able to take care of them with relative speed so that they don't turn into larger issues. So the practices that are there now have been doing a good job. There have just been additional erosion elements that have occurred there. So it's hard to know what changes may happen in the future.
Thank you.
That answer your question?
Yeah. Just get a ball.
Bob?
So when would, sorry,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, John.
no, so when would you anticipate starting this project?
So we'll have to finish
Or-
final designs. I don't know, Emily, if you have thoughts on how long that'll take to complete.
We haven't put together our scope and schedule for the final design yet. That's something that we'll need to coordinate and think about the timing of getting that complete and putting it out to bid for a contractor, if that would be able to be done in time to be able to put it out to bid in the late winter, early spring, or if it would to have construction done in late spring for the beach opens, or if it might be better to wait until September after the beach season, which I think that would, don't quote me on this yet, but just starting, but I would think that perhaps having in September might be better so that you don't have a lot of people in with these new practices, new vegetation that's just starting to grow.
So Corey, do you already have grant money for the build or just for the final design?
Just for the final designs. We don't anticipate difficulty getting grant money for the implementation. I should note that some of the practices are eligible for clean water funding and some are not. If practices don't address water quality, then that particular funding source won't pay for them. And that's something we'll have to explore kind of as we finish up the design work, is trying to decide if we do part of it or if we find some supplemental funding so we can do all of it.
Yeah, so we split out our opinion of probable cost and for the different recommendations in our 30% report based on which were eligible for clean water funding and which were not eligible for clean water funding. So things like the dry stack stone wall that I mentioned is not one of the things that's eligible for that clean water funding that anticipate Corey and his team would be looking into other grant opportunities for.
Okay, Bob Boyce with the Lake Waponder Association. A quick question with regard to, I know you're still doing the design plans. Is an O&M plan part of your design plans, and will it be left after the project has been turned over to the town and be the town's responsibility to follow up with implementing the O&M plan?
Yeah, so it'll be if it's funded through Clean Water Block Grant funding, it'll be a required deliverable that we have a signed and executed operation and maintenance agreement. There are a few different ways that can look. There are places where the district is the responsible party that we take the responsibility for maintenance, and there are places where the landowner does. This would be a difficult one for us to take on all that responsibility ourselves, I think, but that would be something we will need to talk through for sure.
Yeah, during some of our site visits, we talked with different representatives from the town and from the Lake Raponda Association about what could have been improved from that first design and that first implementation, so that the town had a better understanding of, what plants were there, how to maintain them. So that's something that we would try to include this time to make it as easy for the town to understand what needs to be done as possible and help, improve that longevity.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. All right, and yes, Meg.
Meg, you gotta, please. Thank you. This is Meg Streeter.
Thanks, Scott, for getting the railing fixed very promptly. I have a couple questions about the, you mentioned handicapped access. I think realistically, it's very unlikely that anyone with much of a handicap uses the beach because of the difficulty of reaching the actual water from the sloping of beach area, lawn area that is mostly taken up now with the swales and I believe it's the existing vegetation parts of the map. So I'm curious how the stone wall is going to, I couldn't see how wide that was, how much more of the lawn area is going to be taken up by the wall. Because I don't know if any of you have been there during swimming season, but there's pretty limited access for people to sit down before they swim or never swim, but to enjoy the lawn area. It's really difficult to use the existing stone steps. It's really difficult to go down from the bench area. So I don't know if this will improve any of that, but it seems like that should be a goal.
Yes, that's definitely the intention. Kind of where those existing boulders and stone steps are, that's what I was trying to describe, would be replaced by steps that are similar to what is coming down from the road now. They're called infiltration steps. So it's more of an actual step situation rather than coming down over the stone steps there. The stone wall is not intended to take up a lot of space. It'd be kind of your typical, I don't know, maybe 2 foot wide by however long along there, so that it would actually provide some location for people to sit along the stone wall without taking up any of the beach or lawn area around there.
That's a pretty sloped area. So you're leaving a place for people to walk that looks like it's only along the beach now. If
I mean,
the sketch is indicative.
We're not taking up any additional area in that, we're not taking up any additional space in that area. That's not the intention.
How did it control erosion? I'm curious if that was the intent of the swales and the new gardens or 10 years old gardens, however old they are. How did that work?
Since I was not part of that original design, I
don't know.
say I don't know. I haven't.
So I'm just
I
curious.
think I would turn that over to the town to see what difference that has made since they were installed.
I'm not sure that there was a designer.
I'll be very
Yeah.
honest with you. The last time they had done some work here and they put on all these buffers, and I've got the pictures of these things here
Yeah.
with the bench and the whole 9 yards. That looked like a terrarium. And it really had taken away a lot
Yeah.
of surface space
Yeah, it
for the
has.
people utilizing the beach.
Right,
And
exactly.
Gretchen and I had that discussion, and
Right.
she wouldn't talk to me after a while about that.
Right.
It was just one of these things that, we keep doing things to Green Mountain
Right.
Beach before you know it's going to just be an
That-
overgrown
Right,
jungle.
and it's halfway there.
Anyway, that's,
So I'm curious about if the goal was controlling erosion, or are we monitoring what's happened? And if not, why not?
all I can
Why
tell you is
bother?
the water does get to the road, to the lake, okay? It
Right.
does get there.
Right.
mean,
So I know the
what you-
Agency of Natural Resources, who was involved with, with this project, but with the original installation, does do inspections regularly. So I know there should be reports from ANR and the Lake Wise program that show what has occurred over time.
So that's available to the town or the public?
It should be, yes.
I can look into that and follow up on that.
That'd
And
be
yeah,
great.
and
And
one
like,
of,
I
and
do
one of
have-
the things
I
that
do-
came, yeah, one of the things that
We have
came
a
up when we
report
first
here.
went out there,
If
again,
you
was
wanna
what
take
you
a
had
look at that
mentioned,
If you want.
the concerns about the,
What you got?
about getting overgrown. And so that's why we're recommending adding, you know, maybe some fencing along the back there, the stone wall along the front to really delineate where is this supposed to be gardened so that anything that starts to grow out of that can then be removed so that it does not just become overgrown.
So the split rail fences and the chicken wire will be removed. That's part of the,
No,
And the
No.
bench and the whole, yeah.
no.
no,
that's-
just curious,
No,
yeah.
but
I think we know to relocate the existing fence behind the protected vegetation.
Okay.
I can't recall where the chicken wire fence is.
But the idea is to take all of these comments that we've heard over the last 8 years that I've been here and try to implement it in this next phase of erosion control.
Right.
Because you do have a steep area there.
Right,
There's
that's
also,
true.
there's also some pooling that takes place up on top that we're also refurbishing. What exactly are you calling that, Emily? The stormwater that comes across from the street area.
Yeah, for the plunge pool
Plunge
Yeah.
pool, yeah, so that's
that
gonna,
goes into the existing swale.
so the idea is how do you control on that steep slope,
Right,
the rain, the stormwater that comes down through there? And then how do we preserve the space for the swimmers and the picnic goers and all those folks? And that was a big discussion every time that we sit down and talk, and we'll talk more about what
okay.
we can do in terms of preserving the space.
Yeah, it'd be good to have actual measurements. You know, if you're trying to see how much space you're gaining, or are you losing more lawn space? I'm
I
just
think-
curious.
I think of is the preliminary report, are there measurements in there or just in the design itself? I don't remember.
There are drawings. We don't have specific measurements on there, but you could scale it out to there's rough measurements on there. Again, we'll continue this into more detailed design where we will get into that very specific level of detail. These were just conceptual designs at that point. You know, we'll just reiterate, there is not the intention to remove any additional beach space. It's trying to improve what is currently there and make it more accessible and more usable for the public.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm on board with that.
Oh, go right ahead. Go right ahead. Nikki.
Nikki Steele, just a couple of questions. I did notice on one of the drawings that there was a bench and it looks like it's placed right on the shoreline. So I just thought that was an interesting place for a bench. I do think that those two gardens have made a difference in the runoff in terms of it's not quite as bad down on the sandy part as it used to be. So I think they have done something. The one thing I noticed just towards the end of the summer is when you come down the main steps, on the left-hand side, fairly far up, there's a flat place, and there used to be a picnic table up there, and then it drops off and it's vegetated. And I think that's not being mowed anymore, but that was always a really popular place because it had a picnic table and it was flat, that people who weren't really swimming would be up there. And I think that that has not been kept open, and it's a place that, 8-10 people can easily be. So I would suggest that be looked at. It does get overgrown and you can't really see the water, but it was used regularly a few years ago. I am really happy to see the 2 fishing areas delineated. I think it's really important to have that south one be a fishing area and not allow fishing within the swimming area. Scott and I have met and talked about that, but people fish in the swimming area quite regularly. And I hope signage will be used for that, because it's not safe to have people throwing lines where little kids and my feet walk. So anyway, yeah, that's it. Good luck.
Yeah, I think to address your question regarding the bench, I think is the one you're referring to down on the south end. I
It's
believe.
not actually on the beach.
Yeah, off the beach.
It might look it, but it's not actually on the beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, there's a couple different plans. It just,
Yeah, I think the one that I see that's closest to the shoreline is that's proposed is down near that south fishing area.
Yes.
Not directly along the
Okay.
beach.
yeah, where it's, okay. Yeah, it just has a little thing going to proposed bench.
Yeah.
I would assume it probably wouldn't stay there very long anyway, but thank you for your work on this.
All right. So we don't need a motion on it.
Yeah.
No, this is just an update.
No,
Information
no.
only?
Anyone else have any questions, concerns? No?
Nope.
Okay.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Emily. Appreciate the update.
Thanks for your
Thank
time.
Thanks for all your hard work.
All right, Scott, I'm going to turn it back to you, I believe, number 6.
We have a tax stabilization. The select board to possibly approve the tax stabilization request for wheel pad L3C. I believe Gretchen and Julie are here. Adam could not be here, but he's identified Julie as the agent for this request. And Joseph.
Sure. Depending on what you ask. Why don't you sit in this chair for a second? Let's move this to the section a little bit.
You sit in the middle, 'cause you're the-
Just sit. Hopefully we won't be here very long. So, well, thank you for putting this on the agenda. We're here to get tax stabilization for wheel pad. I have provided information about that. The applicant is current on all taxes and fees. This does really promote economic development within Wilmington, and it will help our local economy and growth. So did you have any questions?
All right, so it's going to apply only to the municipal tax, correct?
Only to the municipal
Okay.
tax. We
Yeah.
can't touch the.
All right, and so what's the time frame? Is it 10 years?
Yes.
10 years?
Mhm.
Okay. By the way, I'm still very impressed with your place up there. That was really nice. Anyway, okay, 10 years. So you have this set up and you can decipher this for us, Gretchen?
Yes, so there's an agreement that they have to sign.
Right.
So I put that together, but I don't do that until after you approve the tax stabilization request.
Okay. Okay, I mean, everything is very complete here, you know, with the BDCC and everything.
Right,
That's come
they did
in,
a
so
great
It makes, this
application.
makes it a lot easier when it's all here at the same time.
Right.
All right, anyone have any questions on this?
No, wheel pad L3C?
No,
Sure.
We just started the company 10 years ago. It's been the same ever since.
it's not really the taxes go down. It's that, so the current value, as you can see on this page here, shows that the valuation of the grand list is $7,307.
No, 737,000, yeah.
$710. That gets stabilized over like the first 3 years. Then it increases incrementally up until the 10th year. So it's not money that we have really, but they're going to be making improvements to the property, and their grand list value will go up because they're making all of these improvements. Well, the roof isn't really the one that's, the thing that raises the grand list value. The
housing that they'll be putting in. It's the improvements probably to the exterior of the building, of the buildings. So, can you think of anything else?
Yeah, just the insulation and the roof.
Insulation probably will not make the grand list value go up.
Okay, no, but when we,
The improvements on the building.
improvements on the buildings, we've already made improvements on the one that we're manufacturing in. When we get more cash to make more improvements on the big building, and then when we get cash more to stabilize and fix the tree, and then when we get more cash to actually repave the thing. But this is a long process, and I'm still juggling, but I'm making all the payments.
You must be.
Shay, also, I just want to make it clear that it's only on the town tax. So we have town tax and we have education tax. It's only on the town tax side. We can't touch the education tax. And of course, that's the higher tax. And if you would like to see our policy, it's online, or you can stop in my office.
Good question.
So on the project timeline, just looking, so other than, so water source, complete, peat, and probably have a big minute, what's peat again?
Peat is the building that we're manufacturing now. So far, we've
Okay.
already made $300,000 of improvements in there to, like, it was a dirt floor when I first started renting that. It didn't have any garage doors. It
Right,
didn't
so
have
Pete
any-
is a big house that we toured, that you're
Yes,
doing the
that's Pete.
manufacturing.
It was
So
put up by
that-
Peter Libby.
Okay.
That's why it's Pete.
So that's what you had talked about when we were there, creating indoor bathrooms, I guess,
Yeah.
renovations, classroom space. So the workforce housing valuation is not to 28 and the construction is not to 29.
Correct. Everything just depends on that cash flow, doesn't it? If we can do it sooner, we will.
Yeah, I'm just not sure what of these would increase the value that much on the property, other than, I guess, the indoor bathrooms.
If you don't mind, and the economy can change, you know, regardless of what's in there,
Right.
the value of the properties in this immediate area seem to be volatile.
Yes.
But your product is going to be in demand either way with you.
No question.
It's,
I
in
can't
fact,
keep-
it's
I
an
can't keep
astounding
up.
way to, you can just pull it in and,
Yeah.
you know,
Right, I don't
take
need to
granny
find
and
it.
throw it back, you know, you're good to go, right?
Well, we did just hire 3 new people. That'll help us. I think people are leaving Vail property in droves and they're looking for work. But, yeah, so far.
Okay.
Keep going.
And you're gonna oversee this, Gretchen? You're gonna set
Yes.
this up,
I
okay.
will move it forward.
All right. Any other questions? No other questions, we're gonna take a vote on this, folks.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Make a motion that the select board approve the tax stabilization request for real pad L3C.
All right, we have a second.
Second.
All right, a motion and a second to approve the tax stabilization for wheel pad L3C. That 3 is always a
Well,
throw.
I'd just like to reinforce what L3C means. It's the middle between a for-profit and a nonprofit. We chose to be a low-profit, limited liability company so that eventually our goal is to sell the manufacturing part to the employees so they have agency over their lives. And as a 501c3, we would not have been able to do that.
Okay. I'm still trying to figure out where the profit companies are here in the state of Vermont.
I have a question before we vote.
Yes, go ahead.
Since we have a reduced number of voting members on the board, and everybody gets to vote their conscience, on the off chance that this thing is not approved, can the applicant reapply to a full board, or could they withdraw their application now until we have a full board to vote?
They can come back. They can come
Okay.
back.
Just wanted to check.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna call for the vote right now. All those in favor, say aye.
Right.
Aye.
Aye.
That's three.
Thank you
Take care
very
of that.
much.
That's the majority of the board either way.
Yep.
And congratulations, and it's still
Thank
looking
you.
good out there.
I just need to get some.
You know, we
sleep.
haven't had anything like this in town in a long time, so
Thank you.
it's,
I appreciate
it's
the
been
town's
kind
support.
of,
Actually, it's since George.
well, you know, and George did a lot for this town.
He
He
did.
did a great deal.
We named that building George.
Yeah.
The big building, George, because he put that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Scott.
And next up, we have Green Mountain Power. Green Mountain Power to discuss the possibility of moving their lines underground on Minor Road. The select board to possibly approve pursuing a contract with Green Mountain Power. I believe who we have is Carol Weston, Tim Jones, Don Mills, and Kristen Carlson with us.
You got a full court press here tonight, Joe.
Well, that's it. That's swarming. Thank you, Scott, for scheduling us tonight. I know Carol reached out to you, I guess probably in August.
It's been a while, I know.
It's been a little bit of a while. And
we
also
do-
thank you to Marshall for making the time to ride out some projects with Don this week. I also had the opportunity to meet Marshall earlier this year. I came and shared our project with the annual road superintendents meeting over at the Public Safety Building. So again, Tim Jones, program manager at GMP. Don Mills, probably familiar to most of you. He's our operations supervisor out of the Brattleboro district. Just a little bit more context. Carol is our VP of grid resiliency, and Kristen is our VP of communication. So our team has been making the rounds to many towns. We're halfway through a 2-year project that GMP has embarked on. It's currently called our Zero Outage Initiatives. So the goal of that is in a 2-year period was to act on the previously identified worst performing circuits in our system. Just so happens that 2 of those worst performing circuits are here in southeastern Vermont, where we've been for the last year, and we are making plans to be here for most of the next year as well. So by this time next year, the program will be over, and we will have spent our funds and met our targets. So far, right now, we've buried about 80 miles of our lines underground. So I think the proof of concept is going along very well. Our partnerships with the towns have been going very well. We probably have partnerships with a dozen towns throughout the course of this project. But I know in your packet, you had a draft agreement and a couple of map pages for Minor Road, which really kind of mimic or typifies the type of project that we've been doing, this cable and conduit, this buried project that's been our calling card of the program, and also a draft agreement. And Scott, we know that you had sent us back a draft agreement from the town.
A redraft.
A redraft. And we are still working through that. So again, just here tonight informally, just to kind of tease out the project, just, acknowledge that we've traded some exhibits and that we'll have some work to do away from the table, and we will come back for a formal request once we vet all of these projects. So our goal will really to come back and ask for a batch approval of a number of projects, of course, under the umbrella of this agreement. So I will just say, I think one of the things that stood out for us as we're looking at that, we have been doing these projects turnkey, and that would be our intention going forward. I think, part of, I think what's come up in conversation with Marshall, but also is borne out in your redraft here, is the town's position of doing the rebuild of these roads after we do our project. So something that we just want to keep open in conversation in terms of how we've approached it, how we've attacked it in the other towns, how we've sort of procured our materials and basically staffed ourselves up to provide turnkey projects. So we don't really need to auger in on that right now, but just to say, we know, and we really appreciate you putting this together and helping us really format our approach going forward. So every partnership we get into, we learn something, and certainly appreciate your effort at helping us really narrow our focus of the agreement we're asking for. So what else can we say? Like I said, Minor Road's an example of a cable and conduit project where we're burying our main line completely underground, basically intercepting our customers where they stand. So that's going to be part of the progression. We also are doing projects overhead rebuild. Wilmington's gotten a couple of these here as we worked our way on Route 100 and Route 9 under state highway permits, but these underground projects will be the first time that will come to the town of Wilmington for this proposal. So Don, I'm not sure if you had anything else in conversation with Marshall here, or if there's any other sort of means and methods questions that we can answer now before we come back with some more formality.
And kind of a look ahead as well, like we're trying to storm harden all of 56G1, which is out of the Wilmington substation, basically heading south. And with the roads that, aside from Minor Road, we're also looking at White's Road, Baloo Hill, Boyd Hill, and undergrounding in those areas as well.
You're not looking at Medburyville? What's the matter with you?
We can talk about that later.
Well,
That's
it's kind of the orphan stepchild anyway.
That's
we
actually
know.
the 56G2.
Yeah.
You're on the wrong side.
Okay, and plus we abut Great River High Road there too, so it's. No, Scott and I attended that meeting years ago down at Riggs District.
2017, 2018.
Was it? Yeah,
maybe.
it's been some years.
Yeah.
And it was basically obviously to be a little more lenient with our right of way, whatever. We were very, very excited about what they were going to do. It would save a lot of grief.
Yeah.
To get those people out at the end.
Yeah.
That you'd have to focus on during a bad storm. And, again, a lot of us still remember the ice storm from 2008, which was disastrous. And you just couldn't get to some of these people. Right. And there was all the other ones that would usually complain at the same time. So it was just really wonderful. But either way, we were on board with it. And I know it's going to be, it's taken some years to bring this thing to fruition.
And our approach is, not necessarily just single sign on with the town, but you are our primary partner in all of this. Certainly there are easements and other customers along these projects that need to be consulted and, try and really minimize getting too encumbered by that. But being in the town road has been the place that we sort of used for our project success 2 years ago when we started in towns. And so it's been progressively better and getting better all the time. So.
Okay. All right. Anyone have any questions?
So why Minor Road?
Like we're looking at the. Right, so we're working our way out from the substation to storm harden.
Ridge Road goes out all the time.
Right.
Doesn't go up the hill.
Yeah, I mean, we're also looking at the areas where like we have bare wire that's just slightly off the road, where we have to spend more time putting the wire back up, whether it breaks the pole or not. Like there's that off-road section heading on Minor Road that I know personally I've been in that right away in those storms all the time.
So you know the other end of it.
Yeah, right. So you come up from the other way. I think I know what your house is. You're actually from the new cable and conduit from the other side. Right. So that we're also improving like everything on that's the B63 circuit. So everything over there has already, we started putting that underground, so getting up to the line.
Shut power off the other day.
Yeah, well, we actually had a squirrel.
Or you had a squirrel.
A squirrel on Dix Road actually tripped the whole circuit.
Oh,
yeah.
A squirrel shut down the system?
Yeah, so
shame.
There's protected devices in place, and while the guys are working on the line right here on Route 9,
right.
So we put it the protected device on like basically we call it one shot. So it basically only will reclose back in onto the fault current once, and also the curve of the fault current changes as well when we put that device in service to protect the line workers working on the line. So it was nothing that they did, but there was actually a squirrel on Dix Road that blew the fuse there, and the fault current was enough to go back to the reclosure and open that up.
And just, again, just a little bit more context, number of customers, number of line miles, and severity and duration of outages. And that's sort of the calculus that we use as we look at projects to originate projects. And so those projects are standing off the page in the data for us, and that's sort of where our focus is in this initial 2-year project, is to get the worst first.
As long as someone's working on it, folks, that's what we're looking for. Okay. All right. I thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, much appreciated.
Thank you. I wait to hear from you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all.
At this point, are we supposed to approve the contract with them?
No. There's.
That's fine. I just want to make sure we're crossing the
All right,
Ts
I'm
and
sorry,
dotting
Scott.
the Is.
Hmm. You ready?
I'm all set. Yes, sir.
Gretchen Haverlock is with us to update the select board on the Hoot Toot Whistle Trail project. And I believe that Carol Boyce is on Zoom.
Hello.
Carol asked me to pass these out, so you can see our next fundraising.
Oh, great, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry. Oh, you can say it here. Yeah, sure.
Well, we did.
And also Elin LeBron.
So you're on.
Handed out the postcards?
Yeah, Gretchen, you see that,
I
right?
handed them out. All right, great.
You're also on Zoom.
Yeah. Doing a PowerPoint,
You are-
special for you.
Yeah, you're multitasking here, Fred. All right, go ahead.
This is fancy.
This is fancy. I don't know about that. There we go. Okay. So thank you for letting us provide you with an update on the Hoot Toot Whistle project. So we've had some delays in getting the contract signed early on. Sourcing of hemlock lumber was difficult for our contractor, Joe Saladino. But we did begin construction June 16th with vegetative screening for one of the property owners. And then trail construction actually started on July 25th. I'm going to go through and show you some slides here. I hope this works. Okay, so this is the staging area, which will be the future parking lot. This is kind of like a photo, a more recent photo. This whole staging area was packed with lumber. And then here.
And Saladino's is the contractor.
And here is one of the bridges that has gone up.
It's kind of a backdoor PowerPoint now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I didn't
You
do
did
it
it again.
technically.
You did it
It's
again.
It's technically a PDF, so.
Oh, PDF.
This is one of the boardwalks that was in construction. And of course, we had to do some transitioning from the trail up to the boardwalk. They're pretty high. This is a shorter boardwalk than what we had. And then here is some trail leveling that they did with some aggregate fill. Sorry about the shadowing, it's kind of difficult to see, but and there's still work to be done on the aggregate fill spaces. And then we ran into erosion difficulties so Joe has opened up the part of the trail that goes from the staging area back into Wilmington. I forgot to put in the stairs. The stairs look amazing that are down by. Oh yeah, there you go. Thank you. That is by the mover. So it's open from the staging area down so that people can use that part of the trail. The other part going towards the lake is completely closed off. It'd be difficult for anybody to get through there. So there's two bridges that are proposed in that area that has experienced some really heavy erosion issues. So we had to have A&R, Josh Carvajal, come down and take a look. And there was two proposals that we could go with. One is stabilizing the walls of the depth of the where the water is coming out, and putting a bridge over the top of it, or stabilizing those and putting culverts in, and then putting stone and aggregate fill over the top. And so that is the much more economical, I'm going to show you the last picture here, and economical and longer lasting for the trail. So that's what we're proceeding with. Of course, we have to contact the grant people, and we got approval late this afternoon that we can move forward with adjusting that money. The problem is we're still going to be short about $24,000, and that leads to the handout that you have. So our plan is, because we have a parking lot that is proposed to be about $26,000, and we're not going to be able to get to that parking area this fall. And so we're going to do that in the spring. And the Trails Committee is doing a great job with these postcards and getting fundraising moving. And so we hope that we can get some fundraising going, get some funds from that, and then go, and then maybe ask for some 1% if we need to in the spring. Let's see. Also, we still have segment 1 to go, which is segment 1 is by the Mountain Mills area. And we believe that it's going to be, our quote that we received about a year ago was about $150,000. So we still have that portion to go as well. That's not completed. And then, of course, all of our permitting, the big one, the A&R wetlands doesn't expire until 2029. But our local permit will probably be expiring. So, did you have anything to add?
No,
No?
I think you got it.
Carol?
Yeah, no, I think Gretchen did a great job covering everything, and I really, she's especially covered the part that I wanted the select board to try to, and the rest of the town to try to remember, is that we have this great vision for accessibility in the trail, not ADA accessibility, but as accessible as possible to as many people as possible. And so the goal is to complete the entire trail. That's the $150,000 that would do the part from the beach and Mountain Mills down to where we're finishing now. And also the staging area that Gretchen showed, that will become, the plan is for that to become the future parking area, which is about halfway down the trail. And that's easier access, not only for people with a paved, be an unpaved parking that we were hoping we'd work with Marshall Dix and his crew to complete, but also it's important for handicap access, parking area, less mud, culverts in that driveway are needed. And also it's for actually, even we've had emergency service personnel come to us and say it's really helpful to have something in the midpoint of a trail, because if something happens, then they can easily access, the trail from the middle to either side. So that's essentially, I just want to, the committee and everybody to remember that our goal is to try to get the whole thing finished. Maybe even, Gretchen, we can talk about the VORAG grant. We would love to have another one, but we won't know whether that's going to come out again till, I guess, December, January, February, depending on the legislature. So we'll go to all the fundraising we can do, we'll get all the grants we can, but we really want to push to have it finished. So I guess we'll be coming back, letting you know, if there's funding that we would need, right, Gretchen? That's
Right. Scott, did you have anything to add?
I do not. You took me for a walk. I am satisfied.
So is the trail open right now?
Yes, to the staging area. So have you been up on Fairview
I have not.
Avenue? There's like big fencing that is up there. That's where the parking lot will be. And that's where there's no parking there right now.
Right.
So, so you would be walking from the center of town up there and back.
So right now, there's no work being done as we speak.
So as we speak, maybe Joe's ordering the culverts. Because that would be the next step. He really needs to be out of there by November 1st because he needs to get to another project. So he's planning on finishing up everything that he needs to do. And the parking area is being constructed by the town road crew.
Okay, so we are not doing the culverts now, or we are?
No, we are.
Okay,
We are.
but you're saying not to the spring, or we're gonna do them?
No, he needs to do this all
Okay.
right now and be off of our project by November 1st.
And so the funds are there right now for him to do the culverts?
Right. And so then the issue becomes the parking area
Because
and
we're taking-
reimbursing because there's materials
Okay,
that need to be purchased for the parking.
so we're taking the funds from the parking for the culverts? So
Right,
that's gonna be all done, the culverts are gonna be done
that's
in
correct.
total?
Mhm.
And we're gonna wait until the spring to do the parking then?
Yes,
You'd be out of money. So we have to find the money to do it.
Is it more advantageous to do the parking now than to wait till the spring, or does it not matter?
no, because his, so remember, the staging area where he has all of his equipment
Mhm,
and the fencing, that's the parking lot.
okay, so he still have to have
So
stuff.
if we have him come back, he's
Mhm.
gonna have to charge us for redeployment fees of bringing all of his equipment back there in the spring. And it would destroy that parking area. If we do the parking area right now.
Right,
So we want to do the parking area last, so.
so that's the only staging area that we would have.
Right.
Well, there's a possibility, right, Gretchen, that the staging for the segment 1 would be done down maybe by Mountain Mills. It's
Oh,
really.
yeah, the staging area would be totally different from there. I'm
Right.
talking just specifically about this project.
I think what the point is that the right now allocated for parking area is gonna get shifted so that those 2 culverts can get finished. And, he's gotta work out of that staging area. Then the fencing's gonna come down, he'll take it away. But yeah, there wouldn't be any point of doing the parking area now if we could delay it, because there may be more staging needed next spring or whatever, if we get segment 1 money, for example, or if we do some planning for that. So everything's a little bit in flux, but it's most important to get those 2 culverts done. So it makes sense.
And there's a boardwalk in this section that he has not started, that he will
And he
start.
will finish before November 1st too.
Mhm.
If
So-
you get a
Because he
chance to
has-
walk down there, it's pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
so you said there's another grant that's being applied for, is that?
Oh, no, it's not even announced. And we don't know if, so these, I believe that they come from the federal government, but they're managed within the state of Vermont.
Mhm.
So we don't know if there's going to be money for that.
So right now, we don't have any other applications in for grants or anything that we can apply
No.
for.
Nope.
Okay. No more questions? All right, we thank you.
Thank you.
We
Thank you all for your hard work.
Thank you for
And
your
I'm gonna
support
make-
in the past. Thanks.
So make a motion to go into the liquor commission. All right.
Second.
All right, we have motion and second to go into liquor commission. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are in liquor commission, Scott.
The Liquor Commission to possibly approve a second-class renewal for Stewart's Shop, that's on East Main, A second-class application for Mill and Whistle LLC, that is 24 West
There should
Main.
be more of these around there.
You can
I
have-
move that we approve the second-class renewal for Stewart Shops and a second-class application for Mill and Whistle LLC.
Second.
All right, with motion and second to approve both second class application and renewals, one for the Stewart Shops and an application, which would be a new application for Mill and Whistle LLC. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carried. By the way, what does Mill and Whistle sell?
So
Liquor.
we did a revolving loan for them
Uh-huh.
about a month or so ago. So they're selling like
Coffee.
breakfast sandwiches, limited breakfast sandwiches, limited lunch specials, and then Vermont products
Some retail.
Okay,
and some retail.
but again, everybody needs a liquor license, don't they?
This is
So-
beer. and
I don't know why the
wine.
churches haven't applied by now.
Second class is beer and
Only
wine.
one.
It's beer and wine.
Yes, it's beer and wine.
Okay, all right. All right, Scott, other business.
We would encourage folks to please attend the town plan public meeting scheduled for November the 1st, which is a Saturday at 9 a.m. It'll take place at OSEC. Tom Fitzgerald said he was going to go. I will be there.
This is preparation for the town, for the rewriting of the town plans. That's what it is. Looking for information. They're looking for info. All right. Other than that, okay, so we can go right down to the select board comments. John, you have any comments?
I have none at this time.
Okay, none. Tony?
No, sir.
I have no comments either. Scott, we'll go right to the town manager updates. How's that?
We are still hiring in the police department and the highway heavy equipment. And mechanical labor has been advertised and we're about to do interviews next week for the one position. So this is a little bit of a change because we lost Brett, who used to do a lot of mechanical work. So it's about 60% mechanical, and then the rest would be heavy equipment operator like snow plowing with a CDL and labor.
Do we have candidates?
We do.
Yeah, okay.
We do. Let me see. Oh, Chief Morano took away my thunder on the agency transportation bridge number 31.
Yeah, I sure
This is-
did.
This is bridge number 31. Anyhow, it's been patched again, evidently. We don't know how long, right? They're supposed to start Monday again?
He says still, so the second person called me this afternoon. So the name of the company is ELC out of Williston. That is the name of the company, that is a subcontractor to do the more temporary repair. They'll be starting Monday, they'll be here later this week to add another stoplight. And change it a little bit, because they need a little bit more room.
For a single lane, you mean?
They need more room too, length, so they're adding another light to make it longer. And it's gonna be single lane while they're working, they figure a week and a half per lane. So 3 weeks is what their time frame is, they say, starting on Monday. We're supposed
So
to
how
start-
convenient is that gonna be for our folks coming through town with the houses on them?
I asked, they said there's gonna, the part of the contract, that the agreement, with the state is they have to keep a 14-foot lane open. I don't believe there's two 14-foot lanes there, but hey.
I'm just saying, because they're getting wider, I think. It's not getting
It's
smaller.
daytime, they're doing it
Yeah, they're
daytime.
doing it daytime, not nighttime. So they're 8 o'clock, he said by 8 o'clock Monday morning they'll be out there. Because I asked him if he would meet with me and Matt. For give us any more information in their whole
Okay.
plan of the deal. So me and Matt will meet with the supervisor for the job.
Okay.
Monday morning.
So this is a temporary fix.
Yes.
It's a temporary fix, yeah.
Okay.
Is the road returned to 2 lanes at night?
I
When
do
you-
not,
okay, you
from
said
my
that-
understanding is no.
Okay.
They will stay 1 lane per lane, because they're milling the blacktop off the lanes.
Oh, there you go.
So you won't have somebody there, there'll be a stoplight alternating.
Timer.
For the lanes, okay. And How long is this temporary fix supposed to last?
Oh, no, see, there you go, John.
3 weeks.
No, no,
So a week
no.
and a half each lane, there's only 2, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna
He's
see.
asking- He's asking how long is the temporary fix last?
Yeah, that's all right.
When's the
man.
new bridge coming?
Yeah,
New bridge is coming on supposedly 2029.
It's gonna last.
But this
till
will be the
2029.
precursor, so enjoy the traffic from it.
I'm going the other way.
So I have a question. I know that when I was interim town manager for a bit, we got permits through these big companies that are carrying these houses. Do they still have to do that, or they don't require that anymore?
They get them from the state.
So
But
it's,
then
they're
I thought
all,
there was an approval process through the town.
no. It's all,
There isn't
it's all the
anymore.
state.
Only if it
It's all the
goes
state.
onto a town road.
There's no ordinance that directs them anywhere near the city, the town. We're in budget season.
Hold on, Scott.
There's a hand up over here.
Yep.
Jim Weezy. I understand they can't put a detour in because they would have to use state roads when they do a road construction issue. Am I correct?
Never heard that.
Right, you can't use
Yeah,
town
the
roads.
state road can't be detoured any other way than the state-owned road.
All right.
So let's maybe go down Reedsboro.
I can't make them
What
do
happened?
anything.
Why not? It's their road.
happened?
It's a detour. We need a detour. We can't sit here and watch those boxes go through this town. I mean, 14 foot.
Come back into 2029, Jim, and.
Oh, no. Let's just get them paired up and don't freak out. Because there's only 3 roads that go east to west, all the way to Boston. Route 2, Route 9, and the Mass Pike.
Well, you could use Route 32 if you'd like, or Route 4 if you want to go farther north.
Say that again.
You could use Route 30, or you could use Route 4 if you want to go farther north.
Well, I don't know if they want to go way out of the way because they don't want to take Mass Pike because it costs them money.
Jeff,
Well,
I'm
let's put a toll
not,
out here
I am
and say
absolutely
Mass
not.
Pike.
We've sat here with the state on multiple things and made multiple suggestions, and they keep on nodding their heads, and we have nothing definitive yet.
No,
They will not
and
commit
this is
to,
we voted
they will
for
not
3
commit
times.
to anything on this.
What?
Okay, they will not commit to anything on this, other than they will change the bridge. Right? That when you get into the weeds, they want suggestions, but they certainly aren't swallowing them, let's put it that way. They
Well,
aren't
I
really
think
crazy
that the
about it.
state would like to get these trucks off our road.
Well,
They
we'd
just-
like
they
to do
would
a lot
rather
of
be on
different
Mass
things.
Pike any
Well,
want to be there.
There'll be many, many more meetings before this bridge comes
Yeah,
to
but put
fruition.
that here on it and think about it. Detours. We're not gonna lose our traffic. I mean, there'll be all cars, right?
So when's the bridge down in Reedsboro gonna be done?
Got hit today.
It's done today?
It got hit today.
It hit today.
No, he said one in Reedsboro. We told
The
him.
one in Reedsboro, they just erected it, right? They haven't put the thing on it.
Yeah, they told that.
But they haven't stopped the road either. That doesn't mean they can't do that. Who knows where?
Again, that's beyond our pay grade, I think. It's gonna be the state that's gonna
Well,
have to.
there's
look
a
at
lot
that.
of, you know, we spend millions of dollars to let the moose walk from one side of it to the other, and doing it the 20 miles down the road. But we put in, what, $2 million in that bridge? So that snails can walk from one side of the road, not get
I
squished.
have no idea.
No, but I mean, if there's an issue, we have these issues with these trucks. The Jake brakes coming down the hill, we put, was it Schranko or officer before they lowered the speed limit to go through town, using the school as an excuse. Well, the school's not there anymore. That speed limit's never changed. But we did that to quiet down the town, correct?
My understanding was the state made the change.
Well, that's worse.
Yeah, well, they own the
No,
They own the
Schranko was
road.
the excuse that the buses, he was afraid that the buses were gonna get run over by a truck. So he lowered the speed limit. Well, nobody drives through town really fast anyhow.
Jim, what's the point of this whole, discussion?
Well, no, I'm saying here, it's just amazing that we're not telling bypasses. That scares the merchants in this town. Bypass, well, we're bypassing tractor trailers. Everybody who drives their car from New York to Bennington or Brattleboro or whatever they do, Mount Snow. We can just barely handle that. Throw the trucks on top of it. If you haven't been here the last 10 years and want CNS strikes for you, 50 trucks, 100 trucks an hour. I mean,
The past 50 years, I think they've proposed to bypass 3 times. Every time it went down in flames.
I don't voted on it.
Okay, every time it went down in flames.
No, we only voted on it twice. First
Right,
was the
all right.
town,
Who's gonna get to the speed?
it was the town that voted first.
All right.
We come up with an idea, we talked about Lake Rapana, we talked about Sheer Hill Road, all these other roads all around us to get the trucks around the center of the town.
Right, it was going to go up on Boyd Hill, right over to Castle Hill, that's.
Right. Or
Yeah.
the best one was the state's idea, running a 280-foot cut through that hill over here from where the mover is, all the way over to the flea market. We should have said yeah to that one. We really should have, because that would have been $1 trillion to pull that mountain up to bring that road through there. Or move our town, maybe, a little bizarre. I mean, we're moving the town now, ain't we?
Jim, not to be rude, I'm gonna finish, and
Okay.
you guys could talk. Oh, you-
I don't want to talk about the bridge anymore.
I understand.
I'm sick of it already.
This is the budget season, so I'm having department head meetings with the finance officer. And we will be discussing with employees next week, or this week, healthcare options. So healthcare, on our current plan jumped 30%, and that's
Right.
not sustainable. We talked about GMP. It was nice of them to come tonight. Didn't realize there were going to be so many. Some of the grants, other than the grants that everyone is aware of, I think, that are managed out of Gretchen's office, which has to do with the Route 9 extension and some sidewalks, and the VORAC grant, which stands for Vermont Outdoor Recreation, and some many other things that she does. Some of the grants managed out of my office is the flood proofing. It's called the HMGP, Hazard Mitigation Grant Program. That's managed through Vermont Emergency Management and FEMA. The MERP, the Energy Resiliency Grant, and that is managed out of BGS and Vermont Preservation, Historic Preservation. The LHMP, which is the local hazard mitigation program. Our grant just expired. We spent all the money, and we'll probably have a little bit more from Seam Solutions, but that particular draft that you got a review on last time has been submitted to Vermont Emergency Management. The Lake Raponda Shoreline Erosion Control. We talked about the Green Mountain Beach. And it was good for them to come and give you an update, and we're moving to the final design. Another one is called Watersheds United Vermont Grant Program. We're working with Corey Ross again, and Vermont Department of Environmental Commission Watershed Planning Program, Marie Caduto and Fitzgerald Environmental Associates, Joe Bartlett with the Stormwater Master Plan. And we're working on a grant to advance a stormwater strategy to fit with the Veterans Park development. And it's, of course, led by Christine and Eric Craven and the Cemetery Commission for a potential underground treatment that would fit aesthetically to include pervious walkways and rain gardens. Marshall Dix has assisted Fitzgerald Environmental with what they call a real test pit last month, and that was to determine whether or not we could actually put the system in place there. I don't know, there's not much more to that, right? You dug a big hole and buried it back up. They checked the soil samples, yeah. So this whole project would also include runoff from the new public safety facility. Talked about the planning commission meeting on November the 1st at 9 a.m. It's going to be at least coffee there. We're going to meet with a couple of new floodplain managers since John Broker Campbell retired a year or so ago. He went to be a town manager up in his area of the world, Heartland, I think that he's in. they're gonna come and take a look at Buzzy Town Park and the work that Marshall did, and they're coming tomorrow. So they'll be here around 11. So Marshall and his team did a lot of work out in Buzzy Town Park. If you've not been over there, go take a look. Looks fabulous. And I'm gonna also ask them to take a look at Memorial Hall, since I have a pending permit with the DRB, and they wanted some information on anchoring to the ramp, the ADA ramp that we want to build, and a utility platform at the rear of the building. In terms of the landfill, I just got a stormwater compliance notice in September, and this they call a reminder that you must submit a new no exposure certification under the Vermont Multi-Sector General Permit, MSGP, on or before January 15th if our facility is still operating, which it is not, and remains eligible for what they call an NOx. This is the exposure certification. So I've reached out to KAS Consulting, who works to close the landfill and did some work with us recently on certificates for the transfer station. And I'm now working with a new engineer since the old one left their business. Anyhow, he'll check and get back to me to be sure that we don't have to actually file something. It's just another piece on the landfill that we have to work out. And that's all I have.
Oh, good, okay. Anyone else have anything for the benefit of Wilmington?
Thank you for your time.
All right, so we will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to adjourn.
There you go. The second.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye, we are adjourned.
Things don't pick up until 7:30. Take the rest of the day.
Good. Scott, do you want this back? It's actually going to tell Meg to keep it.